drivers. Talking of fake news invariably reminds me of the BBC, where I've just seen a headline which reads, "Coronavirus, social media spreading virus conspiracy theories." I fell out of my chair laughing when I saw that. Has anyone at the BBC ever heard of black pots and black kettles? The one jolly fact that the BBC has produced was that there have been just 3.5 million visitors to the widely promoted and undoubtedly expensively advertised websites run by the NHS and the UK government. This modest number of visitors seems to prove that no one trusts the government or the NHS about anything these days. I'm fed up too with banks taking advantage of this fake crisis to try to force us to use internet banking. When things go wrong and your money's stolen, they'll turn the other way, of course, and it'll all be your fault. Why are banks still only working part-time when zoos and hairdressers are going to be able to open? Hairdressers have to get a damn sight closer to their customers than bank tellers. This 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. nonsense couldn't possibly be to force us to go online, could it? So that they can say no one's using their high street branches, so they might as well close them. Surely the banks wouldn't be taking advantage of this manufactured crisis to cut their costs and force us along their route to a cashless society. The fact is that you'd have to be half-witted to think that this so-called crisis was anything other than a conspiracy. As I've been screaming for months, our lives are being destroyed not by a pesky virus, but by the absurd and quite deliberate overreaction to it. They need to keep us terrified so that we're wound up nice and tight when they're ready to tell us that the jabby thing is ready. By then, the zombies will be on both knees, begging to be injected with something, anything. The zombie leaders of the medical establishment are apparently now warning of a second wave. Since the medical establishment warned that we'd all be dead of AIDS by the year 2000, I think we can safely ignore them. I got into terrible trouble by arguing with them and saying that the AIDS risk wasn't going to kill everybody. The unthinking, unseeing zombies are making things worse by helping crooked governments and stupid scientists destroy our lives. So in future, I'm going to take a proactive role in my dealings with the zombies. I intend to carry a bell with me, and if they leap to one side, I'll follow them, shouting, "Unclean, unclean," until they race away in terror. I've decided to wage war on the zombies. I'm fed up with being understanding and sympathetic. They're too bloody stupid for words, and it's partly their fault that our lives are so miserable. Without the compliant zombies, we wouldn't be living in an upside-down world. And why would anyone want to live the way the zombies are content to live? It isn't living, it's enduring. The coronavirus, as you all know, is no more dangerous than the flu. That's been my opinion since this whole fiasco started. But I'm not alone in thinking that. Here's another scientific paper I found in the New England Journal of Medicine, which is, unlike many medical journals, magazines and newspapers, very decently making all its COVID-19 articles freely available. The paper's called COVID-19, Navigating the Uncharted, and one of the three authors is Dr. Anthony S. Fauci. The paper was published on March the 26th. The authors conclude the overall clinical consequences of COVID-19 may ultimately be more akin to those of a severe seasonal influenza, and they point out that they're talking about a type of influenza which has a case fatality of approximately 0.1%. The significance of that paper is, of course, that Dr. Anthony Fauci is one of the lead members of the Trump administration's White House coronavirus task force. He's the doctor usually seen on TV alongside Trump. So how's YouTube going to take this one down? I'm just saying the same thing as Trump's chief advisor. Nothing in the scientific journals could have changed that point of view. Indeed, the statistics prove that it was an accurate prediction. Fauci's attitude since he wrote that paper has been puzzling, to say the least, but his paper in the New England Journal of Medicine is there for anyone to read. I don't mind betting that the Daily Mail and the BBC missed that paper. It was a proper scientific paper in a proper scientific journal, and so the juvenile fact-checkers would have missed it too. And there were some long words in it, so no one at the BBC would have been able to understand it. So here's my message for the day. Next time you see a zombie in a mask or social distancing, treat them like the buffoons and half-wits they are. Laugh at them, boo them, or in some way embarrass them, because through their ignorance and their stupidity, they're helping to destroy everything that's valuable in our world. The zombies are enabling the deceitful bullies who are, I believe, destroying our society for their own gain. The empty-headed zombies are endorsing the malicious wickedness which will result in millions of deaths and appalling poverty for decades. The time's gone for patience, sympathy and understanding. The zombies are our enemies as much as the people pulling the strings. Thank you for watching.